Oh, look, it's the end. It closes off our preparation phase, so we shift to round one, although there'll be a number of players that play with Peel next week. So just to clarify, Nathan won't be one of those, so he'll just go straight into round one. And we got Conker and Sean Darcy through. We'll look at that and see who needs another hit. But really pleased with our first half, really pleased. And then didn't see the third quarter coming, but we got comprehensively beaten around the ball, specifically clearances, centre square bounces, centre back clearances, and which was the trend for the day. So the positive was on possession gain and kick-ins, which is the biggest score sources typically. Not identical, but really quite strong in that area. Ability to take it forward, lock it in, get it back and have shots and all that was strong. So, and specifically centre square bounce, and really their forward 50, they kicked 6-2 out of there, which is really high. But our defenders, and they had 17 of their entries out of the middle to our 3. So last week we were super against Collingwood, although they didn't defend their entries that well. This week, not very good in there, but defended them quite well. So just said to the players, one thing I do know is around those stoppages, they can be fixed. There's some really big learnings in there. We need to take them out and make sure round one that we're prepared for those issues that they face in there today. So we tick off a summer where we feel our young players have grown, Brayshaw and Shearer and those types. We've exposed them, some new recruits in that are still blending in, but there's some good signs, with Jesse and Lob and Conker and Collier and those guys. So, and we think our signature, the way we're moving the ball, there's certainly less overuse. We're a more direct team. We're giving ourselves opportunities. So, the third quarter was obviously disappointing, but certainly I walk away with the summer thinking we've made some bigger inroads in some certain areas. So we lost Cox early to a hamstring that we felt unbalanced us. It was an important selection decision, but that still didn't affect us around the source. So yeah, that's the main bit.
Just what about the sheer numbers of those clearances? I mean, it was 55 to 27 and then 18 to 5 or something like centre clearances. Is there a concern that it was so big? It wasn't just a loss in that area?
Yeah, but I can go back. I said we were comprehensively beaten in there, and that's where we need to improve. I think I said that 3 entries to 17, but we defended it well. At 11%, they kicked 2 goals, whereas they kicked 4 goals last week. So, yeah, certainly in there, it was, if you want specific numbers, it was really, which you're right, at our defensive mid versus their attacking mid, it was 110, they had 10 entries. But they kicked 1-2, which is about right at 30%, 29%. But in the D50, it was quite 6v10 and they kicked 6 goals too, which is a really big number. On average, a good day is maybe 1 against in there, bad days maybe 2, 2-1. So they've 8 shots, but I think 3 of them were free kicks, a grab out of the ruck. But there was some, certainly, and I've always said again, they're concerns, but they're also good learnings. We take them away. Stoppages you can break down and learn, so the first thing you do is, you don't want to be personnel based, but you throw 5 back in there and there's probably 10 clearances, and do you know what I mean? And the backs get a bit smarter and don't get walked out of the way. There's a couple more. Mids learn to disconnect and don't get towed around. There's a couple more. So mechanically, in the centre bounce, I know they either tapped it very well, or we showed our back, or we didn't join in. So, but there was always a concern coming here. 6-day break off our first hit in 40-degree heat at Joondalup. I was really concerned. Off a well-rested premiership team. Building to round 1, they were 8 days, strong team, we're off 6. Wasn't ideal. And, we're talking about player availability and people getting hurt in the JLT series. Well, I think the big picture is when you schedule teams, we've lost Cox in the first quarter with a hamstring. When you schedule teams, give them, off their first hit out, at least give them a normal break of 7 days would be nice, let alone 6 and off competing against off 40-degree heat, and then teams and the reigning premier off 8 days. There's some other teams that had those challenges as well. So they will be able to voice that. I certainly never whacked the AFL, and they're super, but I'm sitting here thinking, and I came here concerned, and I walk away concerned with it. So that's the bigger picture stuff.
Do you have talk to them about that? Do you have a sit down down?
Yeah, well, I'll fly over next week and we'll sit down and what I find is the door's open, I'll talk. But there's one reason. I mean, can we attribute Cox to a 6-day break, 40 off your first hit out? Like, that was our first hit out. Probably. Maybe. I'm not too sure.
How bad is that?
They'll scan it tomorrow, but, let's wait for the scans to come in, not preempt anything. We'll give you an update at the right time.
And Tatman, you only played a half?
Yeah, he tightened up, I think a hamstring or a calf, so that's not ideal either, so 6 days, who knows?
You don't know if he was just tight or if he actually had...
No, he came back on, they tapped him out at half-time, but I think he'll get scanned tomorrow as well. That's not ideal.
So ideally, structurally, you'd like either Cox or Taverner to be there with Hogan and Lobble?
Yeah, 100%. But other than that, we'll just be a bit smaller and quicker, and that's not the worst thing in the world either.
And with those midfield numbers, do you excuse them a bit as well, given everything you've said?
Sorry, I missed the first part of it.
The midfield numbers, you excuse them a bit, given everything you've said, and the guys you've got missing out of there. Does it just take time as well?
Yeah, there's a little bit of time in young players. And we put Chera back in there, we gave Conker. Well, we're going to put him back in there, but we didn't. Look, we like to be a lot better than what we were. And based off last week, we were strong there. So just that bit of inconsistency, we'd like to... But again, we feel like our pressure's lifted, our contest typically has been strong, we're penetrating with the ball, we're getting it back, but if you don't win it at the source, that's what I said at three-quarter time, boys, it's really, we can't judge you just got to win it at the source more, out of the middle and around the ground. And to their credit, I think it was 13 entries to 15, and we just slaughtered. We've got to take those marks, hit those targets. I thought the Eagles looked more polished, but they're the reigning premiers, so we're working hard to catch teams of that ilk.
It's going to be harder, do you think, for teams to adjust with the 666 if you are losing, say, centre clearance and stuff like that?
Well, tactically, there's not a lot you can do. You can't roll numbers up. You can't roll. So I think that's the most significant change. There's teams that have played 6-6, but everyone used to think you played a 7-man defence and not bang on it, but it was really a 7th man, a sweeper off the back to join in to mop up any mess. He never stayed as a 7th defender, but it just helped take care of that threat. Whereas at the minute, they're coming out the front quite well.
Do you like 666, Ross? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it's not for me to judge. I just play what's in front of me, control the controllables.
Brad Hill was that
cork calf. Yeah, but I was a bit nervous when he was limping. I was like, here we go. But it was a cork calf, so we're really confident there. He said to me, I don't like playing JLT games. So
it's not bad.
Hey?
It's not a bad cork at all.
There's no good corks. Have you had a good one? I've only
got a doubt for round one.
As I said, we would think you'd get up, but it'd be a pretty bad cork. Yeah.
How do you handle the next couple of weeks, Ross?
Well, we look to improve. It's really good feedback what we're doing well. Keep improving our signature and our contest and our run, freshen them up, and get to the mechanics on how a good midfield and pull us apart around some stoppages, that's not rocket science. We can get to that. That can be done, with everyone buying in, and their heads up. It's the end. I mean, we were the opposite last year, weren't we? Smacked West Coast of a junior up, but there was a bit of a false economy there. So the game was hot. That would have been a short break. There was a lot, but we think it's been really buoyant summer of hard work and a strong dynamic, and we see the improvement, but we've got some sharp feedback on where some weaknesses are, and we need to improve them really quickly. But we're excited to get to round one at Optus Stadium and be led by our skipper and our leaders and get to work. And I'd focus on, our first half, our response in the last quarter. I mean, some people focus on the third, but I can't control that. I'm more excited about what our best looks like, and we've just got to get more consistency with that. Pardon? Yeah, I thought his first hit out really, played with good composure across half back, strong leadership. He looked like a pro that just was resuming really, just get the cobwebs out. I think there were some really good signs for us.
And Hogan, you touched on him
I just think if you can give him some opportunities, you just see how well he can play.
His mobility around the ground looks pretty good.
Yeah, like when it's not going down there, so go and put yourself in there, son, get a kick, you know. So, but again, he's still building, you know. So he'll be better for the run, you know. He's been a credit to himself with his preparation, his buy-in, and his desire to be part of the team coming off a navicular injury. It's been an amazing recovery. It's all credit to him. So if you talk about buy-in, from my end, it's been faultless.
Does McCarthy come into the mix now with those?
It's a really good point. Yeah, it's a really good point. It's a really good point. But I'll get to selection. I'm still digesting the centre square bounce numbers. And we don't want to get stuck on numbers, but it was comprehensive and we need to fix it quick. But we're confident it can be done.
Jesse Hogan gave Valentine a bit of a spray when he sort of had a long-range shot from goal. I think you'd like to see that as a coach.
Well, actually, yeah. All the great teams, or the very good teams, Sydney, Saints, Dockers, we've been strong. Give sharp feedback, and there was no sharper feedback. Did you hear me from the box? And Bellas should have seen him and passed to him, and that's the polish I'm talking about. Like rather than 8 out of 10, we want to hit that one 10 out of 10 times, you know. But it's not Bellas consciously. We just need to see that and hit it. Yeah, it's important to give feedback. I mean, if it's not about Bellas' haircut, well, that'd be a bit different. But he's saying, Bellas, when I'm 10 metres free, pass me the ball. Even though it's the Hayden Valentine wing down here. Thanks, guys.